Hello and welcome to the first ever Where is the Money from Long-Term Targets. Today we're going to be having a look at where the money is. We're going to be doing a quick chart analysis. We're going to think about the play out example, so how the market is going to be moving and which areas we're trying to look for. And we're also going to be talking about what to do next on each market. There's going to be a quick brief analysis as the markets play out. I will be doing more in-depth, especially when I'm starting getting ready to trade. But at the moment, we're just going to be doing a quick chart analysis to get your chart set up similar to mine and to get you more into the routine of what to look for and how to think about the markets. Let's get going. We are on Euro US dollar and we're going to be having a look at the weekly chart. The weekly chart for me is the most important because that is showing us the overall direction. If you want to make money in trading, you do not trade on the smaller time frames. You're going to get cut up and caught out every single day. Focus on the long term, focus on the big pushes, and that is where you'll be having your take of the profits. If we are having a look at Euro US dollar on the weekly, we can see that from about 2001 the market was pushing up. Now we've had a huge consolidation over the last couple of years, and now in 2022 where we are now, we have dropped below the moving average. Okay, so below the moving average. So we are kind of biased to the downside. We are thinking, okay, the market is going to continue to move down and we need to wait for a good opportunity to get in there. Okay, I have drawn out this supporting trend line. So it is a horizontal line and it was acting as support over here and over here. And if I go back a little bit, I can see how it was also support and resistance and resistance. So this is a zone in the market where the market is reacting to it and the market is moving with it or against it. So it is either pushing the market up or pushing the market down. So we're not trying to predict what the market is going to do. We're not putting in our money today and saying, okay, it's going to go up or down. We are waiting for a good opportunity. So I only want to trade when the market is close to my moving average. So if the market has to push up and go into this area, then I'll be starting to look for my trading opportunities. But as it is right now, I am not too interested in trading the euro dollar. If I'm looking at pound US dollar, it is doing more or less the opposite of the euro dollar. So if I'm thinking here on my weekly on the euro dollar, it is below the moving average. And on the pound dollar, it is above the moving average. So it's adding a bit of correlation that both the US dollar is strong and the pound and the euro, they're going in different directions, right? So if we get into one of these trades, then we're going to be focusing more on that one opportunity. And if another opportunity arises on the other one in the opposite direction, then we're still going to be taking that trade and we're going to be saying, okay, either way it goes, I'm solid on the dollar. Now I just need to see what the euro and the pound is doing. Okay, so we are a bit closer to our current trend line. So if I'm thinking about it, the trend here is going up at the moment. It is broken below. It was a false break, and we can see how it has started to come back up now. Okay, so we're going to be looking for opportunities around our little moving average. Okay, if the market pushes back up into this top zone, that is another area that we could be looking for, but we don't really want to trade against the market. So if our candlesticks are above, then we are going to only be looking for buying opportunities. And if they are below, then we're only going to be looking for selling opportunities. All right. So not much to do here at the moment. We do review the charts every single day, but sometimes for these longer term trades, it takes them a while to play out. And that is okay because you only need a couple of good trades per year in order to make a massive amount of difference to your bank balance. If I'm going to the US dollar ZAR, this is my home currency, which is the South African rand. And I'm really liking how this chart is moving at the moment. So if I'm thinking about it, we have had a big push up to the all-time highs of 19 Rand and 37 cents to the dollar, which was massive. And now the market has pushed down, okay? This is what we call correction. So in this whole area over here, this is all correction. So we can see how the market is moving up and down, almost like a jagged motion, instead of here where it was flowing down, right? So what we're going to be looking at is on the daily charts, we're going to be having a look for trading opportunities in the selling direction. So we're doing a little bit of a different kind of analysis. The analysis doesn't stay the same all the time. It is adaptive according to what happens on the daily. So because I can see that we're close to my moving average, this is the only chart that I'm actually going to be having a look at on the daily right now. Okay, so on the daily charts of the US dollar ZAR, I can see that the market is being pushed up by the short-term trend line. Now this has been in place since the middle of June 2021. And if we have a breakdown, then it could signal for a big movement in our direction, right? Because we're going to be looking at selling this market. So we can see in the past how it reacts nicely to our moving average. It touches it and it bounces away and it bounces away. Now we can see how it's trying to push it down, and then now it's broken through and now it's pushing it up again. So I see this as a fake buy, as a false entry to get a lot of people invested in it, and then the market is going to be pushing in the opposite direction. So we just need to be patient. This is a chart that we will review every single day. So we just have to wait for the right kind of opportunities to get to them. Okay, I will keep you updated on the exact strategies and stuff in the future. But for now, this is just a quick analysis. Okay, I always change my charts back to the weekly after I am done. Okay, gold. Gold also, it had a big push down over 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. 2019 started to pick back up, and now we are starting to break down again. Gold is pushed a lot by demand for the metal, and also it is called a safe haven against inflation. But it works a little bit differently to that because it is a metal that you can physically own, right? So if you invested in gold back here in 2012, right, 2012, you're going to be having the same amount of money as you have right now. Like, it's not worth any more or any less. The only thing that might have changed is how much the things in your supermarket cost and how much the stuff around you that you can buy costs. So technically, the price of gold has actually went down, whereas on the charts from 2011, 2012, it has actually stayed the same. So it's worth slightly less now than what it was. So the way that you want to handle buying the metals is a bit different to the way that you want to handle your Forex pairs. Okay. I'll talk later about the strategies, but I use a 30-70 strategy, and I will get into more detail about that in the future. Okay. If I'm thinking about gold for my longer term, I think the price of gold will be coming down a bit, at least for the short term, maybe until the end of the year. And then next year we can maybe see another push up. If I'm looking at silver, silver has also had a big peak. It has pushed down in Feb 2020, and then since then it has pushed up massively, which is just due to the demand. I mean, we've got Tesla that is using a lot of silver, solar panel companies use a lot of silver, people are getting into purchasing silver, seeing it as almost an equal to gold, especially because the demands of silver are much higher in terms of industrial demand. So silver has got big places to go, but where's it going to go for the short term? We don't know. It's being very choppy at the moment. If I go onto my daily chart, and I can see my silver has come down and it's touched the trend line. When you insert a trend line like this, it is important that it has 3-4 touches, not just 2. Okay, I see a lot of people are drawing their trend lines with 2 touches. It's not going to work like that. For the short term or the small amounts of trades that you place, you might get good results. But in the longer term, you are going to fail more than not. Because to give you an example, let's say I was drawing my trend line like this, right? Okay, I see the market is here, and I draw my trend line like that. Okay. Here I can see there's 1, 2, 3 touches, basically 1, 2, 3. Okay, and since then the market has pushed up. That is a good example. But if you are trying to be like in a hurry and you want to draw your trend line, right? And let's say I'm drawing it like this. Okay, I'm drawing it like that. So there was 1 touch, here's another touch, and the market went down. Then the market broke through. I'm like, okay, we're going to be buying, right? Because it broke through on this point. If you are going to want to buy here, you would have lost your money very quickly. Okay, because that was only 1 touch, 2 touch. So you need to make sure that when you draw your trend line, it needs to have a lot of touches that are going in the same direction. Okay, and because we're focusing on the longer term and the bigger moves, that is why we do it over a long period of time. Okay, so just an idea, it's touched once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. So I see this trend line as a very strong thing. If the market closes a little bit above it, it's not worth much. What you need to see is you need to see a decent break and of course a retest, or you need to wait for the market to pull back. So you don't want to buy as soon as it goes above it or below it. Okay. But silver for the long term, I think is going to be going up. But for the shorter term, I think it is first going to be pushing down. So I think these areas here, $21 an ounce and $18.50 an ounce, I think those are good areas to start looking at, because I think the market is first going to be pushing down. Okay. We're going to go over to Bitcoin and Ethereum. These are the cryptocurrencies, and I look at them completely differently when I trade than if I am looking at silver or gold or whatever. Okay. So if I'm thinking about it, I'm just waiting for the chart to load. Yeah. So if I'm thinking about it, here in 2019, we can see that Bitcoin is pushed up and then it failed, right? So from the top, from this high over here, down there, that was a 67% loss. So it decreased by 67% from this high. Let me just draw it for you. From this high to this high. Okay. So that was a 67% loss, right? Okay, 70%. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for correlations to that. So if I'm thinking about this high over here, and I'm thinking about this low down here, right? These lows. If I'm drawing it, I can see that again, it's a 55%. So it's a big loss. And where we are right now with our Bitcoin is the market has come all the way up and it's dropped down. And at the moment it's dropped by 41%. Okay, 42%. So I'm going to be waiting for it to drop all the way down to between 55 and 70%. So all the way down here, that's 55. It drops even lower to 70. I'll be looking to buy in this area at the bottom. So anywhere in this kind of zone, I'm going to be looking for my way in, for my purchase in Bitcoin that I'm going to be holding then for the next couple of weeks to months. Okay, so let me just delete all those boxes. So we do it differently because you're going to get chopped out if you're just getting in randomly when you feel like the market is going up. You know, it moves so much in a day that you can't afford to be wrong, essentially. So what you wanted to have a look at is you wanted to have a look at previous history, and you wanted to see, okay, the market in the past has gone down by 70% and then had a massive rally, and went down by 55% and then had a big rally. So you want to wait for the people to stop talking about Bitcoin before you start buying your Bitcoin. As soon as it is in the news, it is worthless, basically. Okay, same with Ethereum. And Ethereum also has big moves, drastic changes. If we are just thinking about over here, so this is also 2019, Ethereum went up. Let me just grab it. And it went down and it lost 73% of its value, right? So from this zone to this zone, okay, to this zone, it lost 73% of its value, right? Just recently, from the top over here, okay, it lost 61% of its value. And where it is now is it pushed up, and now it has lost 40% so far. So I think it is going to be coming all the way back down here to 60-70% of its value loss. And from there, then we can start looking at pushing up again. So yeah, with the cryptocurrencies, it's a little bit of a different kind of strategy. It could, of course, never make it to, you know, losing 60-70% of the value, but that is fine, then it can go without me. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for the market to go down. I'm waiting for people to forget about crypto, to take all their money out, and then I'll be buying in when there's no news, when it is quiet and nobody is really interested in it at the moment. And then as soon as people stop talking about it, I'll start adding to my position slowly. And as soon as it gets back in the news that it's going back up, it's to the moon, and we can see how everybody jumps onto that bandwagon and pushes the prices up, and then it collapses again. Okay, so that is my quick outlook. I hope it has helped you to understand more or less what I'm looking at the markets. So I've got my Forex pairs that I'm looking at. USDZAR at the moment is the only one that I have got a close trade on. So I'm just waiting for the markets to react the way that I wanted to. Okay. Gold and silver, I do the 30-70 strategy. I will explain more about that in a future video. And then cryptocurrency is waiting for a big breakdown, waiting for the news to shut off about it before I start purchasing it. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good rest of your day.